Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, as well as on mixlr.com/WakeUpCallDT. You're watching and listening on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT and on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, as well as Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. We're inside of the Cafe Cubal studios for another edition of Pacer Pride. And Pacer Pride is the exclusive content you'll find here through our multimedia marketing partnership with the Marywood University Athletic Program and the Pacers. So very excited to be here with Bill Schutter. Bill Schutter here with us from volleyball at Marywood University. That is our spotlight today, is Bill's story as well as the volleyball team. It's my honor, my privilege to have that be our Pacer Pride exclusive segment here for you on Wake Up Call. So let's bring him in. Bill, how are we doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me on the show, Dan.
Absolutely. And Bill, I got to meet you a couple of weeks ago, albeit for a few minutes with Enrico Mastriani in the lobby there of the athletic complex. But it was great to be around you and to know that this team had more life this season. What can you say to kind of get started right there about how proud you are of this year's team and the fight that they've had in them?
I'm very proud of the team this year. We were a very young team, considering that most of them didn't have the season with 2020, most of my sophomores were actually taking the court for the very first time. So technically they were playing volleyball at a college level, even though they were sophomores. So I had a very young squad out there. So I was very, very pleased with the way that they performed and the way that they responded to not just the first time experience of playing college ball, but to go through the rigors of the academics that they had to maintain, and the schedule that we played was not so-called user-friendly at times. We played some very tough teams, and they responded the way that I was hoping that they would. And I was very pleased at the way that the season went. I'm not just looking at the wins, losses, but how the team progressed from start to finish.
Yeah, and you had some runs here to look back at the schedule where you had a couple wins in a row, if not 3 wins in a row at times. So you were able to make some runs here this season. And multiple times you won back-to-back games, and then there was that one 3-game winning streak. Just what you could say about, the fact that you were able to do some good things this season. I mean, what do you look back on when you look back at the schedule? And like you said, having such a young team, when you were able to put a string of wins together multiple times, just what that means maybe for the future of the program.
Well, I think what that did show us, and we had, when we were doing our exit interviews last week, talked to all the girls on, what they're looking forward to, next season, what we can work on as a team and what they can work on individually to get better. One of the things that, was a common ground is that when we were on and we were playing well as a team and flowing, those are when our wins were coming. I think what we have to work on a little bit is just maintaining that positivity on the court when things are not going as well as they should be. And that's what we're going to focus on, in the off season and also in the spring non-traditional season. I think if we could stay more focused and forget about the 1 or 2 plays and not have them snowball into 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 points, I think that's the key to picking up a few more W's. I will say that in my entire time coaching, when I was going through the stats at the end of the year, we actually played in 10 games this season, 10 games that were decided by 2 points.
Yeah.
We played in 10 games that went to 23-25 or 26-24 overtime. And you take a play or 2 in that match and it's a win. So I think that's what we're looking at, is that we were almost around the corner so many times and we just didn't finish. So that's our push next year, is to finish.
And what is it that affected, getting to those points but not finishing? Was it just the youth? Was it just experience at this level that you could get to the precipice but not close the gate, so to speak?
Yes, I think that had a lot to do with it. I think the youth and the inexperience of playing on the college level, I think that did play a little bit into it with the excitement and, just being in that situation. Maybe they weren't in that as much as they were in high school, and to be at that level playing, I think that played into a little bit of it. Yeah.
Here with Bill Schutter, the head volleyball coach at Marywood University for the Pacers. Bill, your time as a player with the sport of volleyball, and we go back to, what you did and where you were, I think it's important to go back to your history and your love for the game. When did you fall in love with the game of volleyball? What did it for you? What kind of brought you into volleyball?
That happened in high school. I was playing basketball at the time and doing some track. And the volleyball coach came up one day and said, "Hey, will you just give this a try?" And I went out, and the rest is history. I just fell in love with the game and kind of just followed it through high school, right into college, out of college, club ball, beach ball, and then, into coaching.
I look back at your time and when they were at Division I at East Stroudsburg University, 1982 to 1986. The team was ranked in the top 15 nationally during your 4-year tenure there. And like you were just talking about, playing open and semi-pro beach volleyball regionally with the US VBA. Just to speak on your time at East Stroudsburg with a Division I program at that time that was ranked in the top 15 in the country, and then to move on from there and to continue to play after college when you had that opportunity as well, which so few have.
Yeah, I tell the girls this too. My best 4 years of my life were college. My 4 years of college were the best years of my life, and a lot of that had to do with because playing a collegiate sport. And I tell them all the time, you can't get these years back, so enjoy them. And your best friends are going to come out of your team, not so much the people at the college. So I was very fortunate that I was able to play at that level and play against guys that were at that level. And 2 or 3 of the guys I played against in colleges at the time were alternates on the Olympic team back then. Yes. So I was I cherished every single moment that I was able to step on the court. I had very good coach, and we were ranked nationally. We were the smallest college. They actually had to put PA after it in parentheses when they ranked us nationally because no one even knew where East Stroudsburg was. But yeah, to take it from there, I made a very good friend who played at Penn State. We played against one another for 4 years, and then we joined up together and played club ball. Back then, club ball was only basically it was only in one area, not like it is now all over the place. So we played mostly in New York. I was able to do that for quite some time, and then him and I went on it and played doubles and played beach doubles down in Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, and did that for quite some time until I went into another profession, and then that was it. Then I got into coaching.
And to go into that other profession, I think it's important to honor this. You were a Pennsylvania State Police trooper, 25 years of experience, 1991 to 2016. I want to thank you for your service because, not just because of this, but I mean, I have family. I have a godfather that's a police officer. I have family members that have not only served as in the police force, but served in world wars for the military and whatnot. I think it's important to thank those people that helped to protect us. And there's so many things that I've been able to live a life at 36 years old by the grace of God, and I'm very thankful for, where I wake up and I go to bed and I'm here and I live in a safe neighborhood. And as much as I thank God for that, I also thank people like yourself that are doing things to protect me while I'm sleeping that I don't even know. So before I say anything about anything, I want to thank you for your service because it needs to be appreciated. It needs to be spoken about because, police officers, firefighters, first responders, military, they're fighting battles to keep us safe that we don't even know about. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done.
Thank you, Dan. It's very appreciative. Thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and that needs to be said. With Bill Schutter here with us, head volleyball coach at Marywood University. He's our spotlight guest in Pacer Pride. And you've had the opportunity to coach as well before coming to Marywood. Boys volleyball coach at Wyoming area from 87 to 91, posted winning records all throughout. And then also coaching Penn State Wilkes-Barre's women's volleyball team with winning records there. You were honored as the District 2 Coach of the Year in 1987. And, besides Wyoming area, in nearby West Wyoming, we know the fact that you also were the Dallas High School boys volleyball team. You were there as the head coach as well. So to be able to serve at Wyoming area, Dallas High School, and Penn State Wilkes-Barre, there's so many awesome things that you got to do as a coach. I guess to start with the high school, since I named a bunch of places, what can you tell me about what you took away from Wyoming area as well as what you took from Dallas? And I got to shout out Dallas, where one of my best friends and Marywood alum, Ross Turetsky, lives out there with his family.
Even there's one in there that snuck in there before that even is the Wyoming area boys volleyball team.
Yes.
So I actually did that the same 4 years that I did the Penn State Wilkes-Barre girls team because they were opposite seasons. So I kind of got started in high school with the boys and didn't go into the girls program at Wyoming area until actually I was close to retirement. Right before, I think I was 2 years before I retired, I went into Wyoming area with the girls. I love high school because I love taking raw talent before it's even kind of comes out. You kind of have to find it and chisel away and see what you can produce. And I enjoyed that challenge every year of coaching in high school.
Yeah.
And then I was very fortunate, when I interviewed for the position at Marywood, and it's just a totally different atmosphere going from high school to college. The biggest thing is you're getting girls now that have played at a level of club or high school that was so competitive. It's funny, even when we do some of the recruiting and girls come in and, most of them are, captains of the teams that they came from or, stars of the teams. And, you look around and basically that is our whole team, that the entire team is that now. So you don't have to put as much into the teaching of the basics, but the college is teaching the fine tuning of how to make someone even better, get over that hump of teaching them little tricks of the trade, things that, that they were never shown in high school, and, just take it to another level. So I do enjoy that. And I'm so fortunate, to be in the position that I'm in at Marywood.
What made you want to be a volleyball coach and a police officer, a trooper at the same time? I mean, how do you, it's two totally different things. I mean, did it kind of because one's maybe heightened and dangerous, the other one kind of mellowed you out? I mean, I know coaches can get, energetic, obviously, but how did you balance the two of those? Because
ask the girls if I'm energetic or I get a little worked up on the sidelines. Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm a little bit animated at times. I always liked coaching. I always liked teaching. If I probably wasn't a state trooper, I probably would have went into teaching because I enjoy, I coached Little League forever. I did the mini basketball till 6th grade, so I was always involved in coaching pretty much most of my life at some point, at some level. So this is, going from the Little League and mini soccer and all the way up the ladder, the pinnacle now is college and coaching at that level. So I think every level taught me something. Every level, I still learn every day. I tell the girls that I learn just as much from them as I hope that they're taking away from me. You're never too old to learn.
And, what have you learned from them? What are some of the biggest things you feel like you've taken away from the teams that you've had? I mean, this could be any one of the teams, the boys teams, the girls teams, the women's teams that you've had at Penn State, Wilkes-Barre, as well as Marywood. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned or quotes that you've taken with you? Because I always talk to student athletes about what they take from their coach, but with you saying you learned from them, what are some of the lasting things that you could take with you?
Well, you probably know. I mean, guys and girls are different.
Yeah.
Boys and girls are different mentality, different approaches. Some of the things that I took away from this is going from one to another is, I could talk to boys are, a totally different way and they respond a different way. And girls, I, learned also by doing it from high school, even into college. It's just a different approach that you have to take with them. I would say what I learned from them mostly is getting to know them more personally on a level of not just the court. And I think that helps me as a coach understand what they're going through on a daily basis with their schooling, their academics, their personal life, whatever that, is shared. I think it becomes, I learned, to me, what they showed me is that it's more than just the player, it's the person. And when you put those two together, it just makes it even more dynamic.
Yeah, and I think getting to know who they are and what they're about. I mean, obviously to be a great coach, you have to know how to coach each individual. And how can you coach them if you don't know who they are, what they stand for, what makes them tick, what their likes and dislikes are, what they've understood, what helps them understand in life, what's difficult for them. I mean, to know your players is the only way to coach, because if you just try to blanket policy, do it a certain way, you're going to be unsuccessful. But I think that just with, I look at my group of friends and, they're all loving, caring people, but they're all different. Yep. And so I think as a coach, your only path to success, real success, is to know what makes each of them tick and what kind of ticks them, what makes them tick, what ticks them off. You know what I mean? To know
there's no one size fits all.
No.
It's everybody has a different button to push.
Yeah.
And, where someone needs a kick in the rear end, another one needs a pat on the back. And everybody has a different motivational factor, just like I did, just like you do. I mean, everybody is, and what's difficult at times and challenging at times for, I believe, as a coach is that figuring it out. You're going to make mistakes. I mean, I've made plenty. I just hope that I don't make the same ones over and over again.
Being here with Bill Schutter here of Marywood Volleyball, very excited to be here with Marywood Pacers Volleyball and being able to talk with Bill about this team and about his history. To be at Penn State, Wilkes-Barre, before you came to Marywood, what made you make the transition? Why Marywood? Why come here after 4 seasons at Penn State? Why make the move to Marywood University?
Well, honestly, between that time was probably about 30 years. There was a big jump in between Penn State and Marywood.
Yeah.
25 years in this, working for the state.
What made you come back, I guess, is the right question.
Okay. I wanted to get back into coaching, and I got a taste of it getting back into the high school at Wyoming area. And when I did that, I was like, I want to try something different. I've done the high school, and I had a kind of a taste of it with the college, and I found out that Marywood was looking for a coach, and I really honestly didn't know a lot about the college itself, or I didn't know anybody there. So it was I went through the process, and I'm going into my 4th year coming up, and I couldn't ask for, a better group of people, from the athletic director down, the rest of the coaches that we, I see, and it's just a great atmosphere.
And for you to have that time in between and then to come back to it, like you said, you didn't know much about Marywood when that vacancy was there. What have you learned about it now? Taken over in 2019, what would you say if you could go back in time and see yourself before you took the Marywood job when you didn't know a lot about Marywood University? What have you learned about Marywood? What type of knowledge and wisdom would you impart on yourself to define what Marywood actually is to you now?
Well, when I first came in, the situation was a little bit different. Let's just say I tried to change the culture a little bit when I came in, without getting into too much of the specifics regarding that. I just wanted to make it more of a positive atmosphere for the players. But don't get me wrong, I'm still there to win games and want to put, W's in the column. But I think that the biggest thing was try to find that happy medium to want to win games, want to have the desire to win, but yet still have fun at what you're doing while you're trying to accomplish that. And that's what I think I have been, I'm still on, on that quest, 4 years later, but I do see movement from 2019 to now. Also regarding, the recruiting end of it, the last of the girls that were here to graduating this year, and now pretty much everybody on the team is girls that I have brought in, through the recruiting process. And, one of the things that I look for is, team chemistry, team player. I don't have to have that 4-star athlete. If I see something in a girl that I feel that I can develop and make her better, I'll still take that over, maybe the superstar athlete because of her team makeup and what she wants out of it. So a lot of the interviews that we do when I'm looking for that is, how important to you is team chemistry and teamwork, because there's no individuals out there. If you cannot play as a team in volleyball, you are not going to be successful. You need 6 people on the same page. It's unlike any other sport.
And you, like you said, as you've worked to change the culture and to try and win games while you're trying to create a more exciting atmosphere, fun atmosphere, positive atmosphere. Now that these are all of your recruits, what gets you excited about that? That now, this is, this has got the full Bill Schutter stamp on it. All of this is you now.
Yeah. I was extremely excited to start this year. And now I'm even more excited. We're only out of season 2 weeks, and I'm already excited after talking to everybody on our exit interviews and equipment turn in. We're having our end of the year pizza party Monday night, and put a wrap on it before they all head out for Thanksgiving break. And every one of them is, even though the season was so long and tenuous, they're all chomping at the bit to get in there in mid-March to do our 1-month non-traditional season. And I'm excited about that, because that just means that they didn't have enough. They were out there 24/7 for 3 months, and they still want to get out on that court and play again. So that's exciting for me, because it rubs off on me. And I think, one of my seniors that's leaving said to me that, seeing how excited I got on the sidelines and into the games was one of the reasons why she got so worked up and excited and wanted to play the game. And to me, that was the epitome of, that's what I'm trying to do. And if I could reach them all like that, then sky's the limit. So I'm really excited about now that, like you said, I pretty much have everybody in and starting another recruiting class, coming up.
And when you talk about reach, what is that reach? When you look at recruiting, where is your kind of area that what do you encompass when you're recruiting? Where are you willing to go to bring somebody in?
Well, I'll go wherever the talent is. It's a different day and age what we're dealing with now than we have been in past years, especially with COVID the last 2 years. You're looking at a lot of film now. You never used to do that. Now it's almost a common thing to do is look at film, not always in person. But we primarily recruit from the New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania areas, some Ohio, and sometimes we get a few from Florida. But that's pretty much our base that we get most of our girls from. Now we've had girls from California and Texas and other areas, but that's our primary recruiting is the tri-state area with Maryland, Delaware, and Ohio.
What do you want to say to potential recruits out there, potential commits to the program here in Pacer Pride, as we're here with head volleyball coach Bill Schutter here for the women's volleyball team at Marywood University? What do you want to say to the young women out there that could be looking at Marywood or maybe aren't looking at Marywood yet? What do you want to say as far as the why when it comes to Marywood and your program?
I would just say that, we're a program that, we're very based on teamwork and speed and, we're trying to get in that height, but, we don't have that. So we make up for it in areas on defense and speed. If you're looking for, a place that, you think you might want to fit in, I would say look at some of our film, go back and look at some of the games. Certainly come to our, a game and see. We've already had some girls come up and during the season and watched us and were, then wrote me and now are interested in coming to Marywood. We also ran our first volleyball camp for the first time ever at Marywood this past summer. It was a tremendous success. We had a whole bunch of girls that are now looking at the college. And at the time, I wasn't looking at it for a recruiting tool. I was just looking at it as a development tool. And I was pleasantly surprised at the responses that we got of some of the girls that want to actually come back and play here. So, I just think it's a good school. We're tucked away here in the Northeast, but the campus is beautiful. The sports program is great. We've been in the top GPA. That we're in the top 3 GPA every year that I've been here. So we have smart girls with a ton of different majors that they do. We have everything from the PA program to art to architecture to speech pathology, education. So we have a wide variety of girls that pretty much have different majors. They all help one another out. We have study halls available for if you are having difficulty. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is I always kid them. I say we have a smart group. We have a smart group of girls. So take that talent that you have academically and give me some volleyball IQ out here. And we laugh about it a little bit, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, coming from Bill Schutter here for the volleyball team at Marywood University. Pacer Pride, our special that we have for you all throughout the month, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. Bill, final piece, rapid fire. We're going to go back and forth. 2 questions apiece, nothing to do with volleyball. Help everybody out there to get to know you a little bit and also put me on the hot seat. So I'll defer to you first and let you ask me the first question.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm wearing my Eternals right now.
Okay.
So I want to say, Spider-Man, but I'm a big Robin Williams fan. So I'd say probably my favorite movie of all time would have to be maybe Mrs. Doubtfire or Hook, because
Wow. Okay.
I grew up on Robin Williams, and to me it was almost like he was like Uncle Robin because I had watched him my whole life. So yeah, I mean when he passed away, you would have thought I lost a relative. That was heartbreaking. So I probably have to say anything Robin Williams related.
Well, when you were watching him at that, I was watching him on Mork and Mindy.
Which I also and I'm happy you mentioned that, because my first that I can remember, I'm pretty sure the first live action show that my parents ever let me watch on TV was Mork and Mindy, and I just bought the DVD set so that I can watch it again.
There you go. So I just dated myself, but go ahead.
No, I love that you said it because it gave me a shameless plug to say it myself. I love Mork and Mindy. I'm happy you do too. For you, Bill, if you could jump into the fictionary world of any television show, what world would you jump into and why? What TV show?
Oh my God. I think I would get in trouble for saying any of the ones that I want to say. So, boy, that's a good one. Probably dial it back, maybe jump into the King of Queens or Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
That's a little bit more tame than what I probably would want to say.
Oh, that's fair. I love both of those shows. So, who is your favorite character from both of those shows?
I love Frank on Everybody Loves Raymond. He just cracks me up everything he says.
Yeah.
And obviously Kevin James.
Yeah, on the other side for Queens. But I mean, honestly, Bill, you're naming all of the TV shows and movies that I watch. So you and I we're on the same wavelength when it comes to what we're watching. I can appreciate all this stuff because I've seen all of it. So Everybody Loves Raymond hits home for an Italian kid that has that background with my mom and my dad's. So my mom and my grandma on my dad's side, my dad's mom did not get along. So on the television show, it's Marie. In real life, her name was Mary. She lived a few minutes down the road. His mom lived right across the street. My mom's name is Deborah. His wife's name is Deborah. Wow. So it got way too real in the house sometimes. What's your last one for me?
What's your favorite sport and your favorite team? Let's make that a two.
It's tough because I played basketball my whole life. Eric Grunman actually called me and recruited me to come out for the team at Marywood. I can shoot, but I'm 5'8". So I wanted to play D1 my whole life. And, being 5'8", I hated to run. So I practiced my shot. I worked on that a lot. But yeah, so I got a call from him, and basketball has always meant the world to me. So I would probably have to lean on basketball because my favorite sports day of the entire year is the first round, not the first four, which I respect and I love. I've been to Dayton, but
the 64,
the 64, where there's games from literally noon to midnight for 2 days.
Yep.
I want every day to be 16 games a day. So I get really excited about that. I really like college football, but I would probably have to say basketball. I'm going to pick my favorite college team for Division I is Syracuse. My favorite D2 team is Lemoyne. My favorite D3 team is Marywood. And I also
good
have
answer.
And it's true though. I mean, it's true.
I know.
It's my whole life's been connected around that. And I would also have to say that the Toronto Raptors are my favorite NBA team.
Okay.
So my final one for you, who do you consider to be the biggest influence on your life and why?
Wow. That's a tough one. I would say I would probably, I mean, my father to a point, my mom to a point. But then it was good. Diesel.
Apparently you didn't give the right answer.
There you go. He is the influence right there. No, I had some coaches, going through as, my college coach, my high school coach, my martial arts instructor that I had tremendous respect for. He was an older gentleman that taught me things well beyond, the physical abilities of martial arts. And I honestly, I believe I probably learned maybe more from him on a lot of issues than I did, other people.
That coming from Bill Schutter here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of our Pacer Pride special. What's the name of your dog?
Diesel.
Diesel?
Diesel.
All right. Well,
big German Shepherd.
Apparently,
let me see if I can turn this and so you can see him.
Okay.
Diesel.
Where you at, Diesel? Big guy. So yeah, Diesel. It was funny though. It was right on cue. I said biggest influence. You said to appoint my mom, to appoint my dad, and then he barked like, "What about me?"
Yeah.
So, I like that. That coming from Bill Schutter here of Marywood University Pacers volleyball team, leading the women every single season starting back in 2019 here in Pacer Pride, our special for you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Bill, it was my pleasure to meet you a couple weeks ago. It's my pleasure to talk with you today, and I look forward to having you back on very soon. And let me give you an official, if you haven't had one already, you're more than welcome to come up here to Central and Upstate New York and recruit some of the high school kids up here.
All right.
Look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for having me, Dan.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.